Hello and welcome to Realtors Talk, the show where we talk a little bit about the market, and we also like to provide sellers and buyers some good tips. So Margaret, talking about the market, I'm loving it. What about you?
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
This is my favorite kind of market.
Right.
The sellers are getting really good prices for their homes, and the buyers have some homes to look at.
It's working out well. And actually looking at our board, we're about 50-50 buyers and sellers at the moment, aren't we? So
yeah, we are.
Yeah, it's been a very good market. Now, talking about buyers a little bit now it's interesting because the oldest rule in the book for buyers applies, doesn't it?
From the time I came into the industry in 1981, the one thing that I was taught that was top of mind, and that is make sure your buyers are pre-approved.
Yeah.
And what that means is go to your bank, go to your mortgage broker, find out what you can afford. And in today's market, more than anything, bring it up to date.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is if you spoke with your mortgage broker or your bank in August and it's now October, go back to them. Just make a quick phone call and say, will you honor that amount for the next 90 days? Because I haven't quite found something yet, perhaps. Or, yeah.
I think most of the banks are giving 120 days sometimes.
Are they?
Yeah. So it's an interesting mix, but it's time stamped.
It is time
It's
stamped.
time stamped. So whenever you start, the end, you know. Right?
Yes.
So
And does that follow through in terms of their closing date?
it does. So if somebody has gotten pre-approved and they have 120 days from today, for instance, it doesn't just mean that, they can wait 120 days and buy a place. They actually have to close in that 120 days. So that's why it's also important, for instance, if they did, to just quickly go in and say, you know what, hi Sue, whoever, please, can you make the mortgage date start today? And that's the way they do it. You can do it by a phone. You can do it very easily.
Good.
So that's really cool. And now on the seller side, I think we've got some equally important things to talk about there.
Well, the number one thing when I think about my sellers, and you're really good for this, is the first impression.
Yeah.
And of course, with your years of experience being a landscaper, it's absolutely 100% pivotal. So what do you have to say
that
about
first
that?
impression would be people's curb appeal, right?
Yeah.
And landscape background aside, I'm not here to tell you, spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on your front lawn, but you want to do all the regular things. You want to tidy up. You want to keep those bushes that are maybe overgrowing your windows and doorways. You want to keep the entranceway nice and clear. People have a lot of artifacts they like to put out in their front entranceways so that you almost have to pivot around them to get to the front door. You really need people to see from the end of the driveway the rush they're going to make to the front door because they love your house, right?
Yes.
But it doesn't end there. Once they get to the front door, there's another first impression we should talk about, right?
Well, I know from when I'm taking my buyers out looking, I'm usually the one that unlocks the door and I'm the first one to step inside and my nose starts working immediately, besides my eyes, of course, but my nose. And that's the wonderful smells, especially at holiday season, for instance. Lots of baking going on. It always smells so good. And in general, though, it's just being top of mind, keeping your home clean.
Okay.
So that if you have a pet, like I do,
yeah, so there's good smells and there's bad smells. So
that's right.
Let's not say bad, but smells that don't sell. Okay, so if puppies, pets, the work boots being right in the front entrance, it's you can hide those things for a showing. Hopefully, that's the way to do it. And then inside or outside, if people have cleaned their windows, that's pretty important.
Oh my
too.
goodness, that's so important. And the eaves troughs.
Yeah.
I was showing a home the other day and my client was outside and he went, oh, look at all those little trees in the eaves trough. It was a joke, of course, but you know what? He wasn't far from it. There were little tiny seedlings in that
little eaves trough nursery or something.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, there's just a lot going on, but we do know this. So really for you sellers, first impression is very, very important. If you're buying, no doubt about it, they should always have their pre-approval, one being removed, should have their pre-approval being reviewed and updated. And I guess then, of course, where the market's concerned, yeah, it's a pretty good market right now. So that's it. That's a wrap. People, please subscribe and like us, and more to come. Cheers.
And look out for our videos.